Her lips which whisper, like reeds on the wind, wet with moisture sprung from a well deep within. Whispers, like the petals of an iris, the reedy blossom which weathers and is not trodden down for long. Oh, it's approaching, well, it's after midnight in Kentucky here on a Saturday night, and we got a ring around the moon, which is just about full. About ready to start on book 4 of BURGUNDY Iris or Moses Cleveland's Canterbury Tales, but I wanted to say a couple things before I do. I just uploaded onto my other playlist, the MISC playlist. It's on both my YouTube pages, but I just uploaded a bunch of videos that I made back on September 12th and September 13th while Iran and Hamas were setting up the October 7th festivities. A couple things I want to say. There's a couple places where I seriously beg to differ with my muse. And it's not that I don't love her, because I do, but it's like, given a lot of the things that she's been through, there's stuff there that I can't talk about that I'm really concerned about. But it comes down to a difference between discretion and overt denial. This kind of came into play when she and my godfather would deny that there was a connection between Saddam Hussein and terrorism. And anybody in Intel knows about that. It goes back to, basically back in the day it was food stamp trafficking rackets used to fund terrorism. It's something that Saddam Hussein was doing in Detroit. And pretty much all the other groups were following suit, the proverbial axis of evil and stuff like that. And like I said, the thing with like presidents in America is they tend to take credit for everything when most of the intel that they're taking credit for comes through, basically, I think Colin Powell said it best when he said there's no I in team, because intel comes from a multitude of sources. And like I said, a lot of the intel that I got on the food stamp trafficking, mostly it was based in Cleveland, but you can pretty much apply the model, across the board. I mean, it's basically how asymmetrical warfare works. And when you're talking about intel emulating the old school Soviet model, you're going to see a lot of parity there. But I posted a bunch of videos I originally posted back on September 12th and 13th, and what do you know, 11:23 p.m. here in Kentucky, got 8 rounds fired. So there's a lot of negative feedback coming from that kind of stuff. And like I said, if you're in denial that Saddam Hussein had connections to terrorism, then you're missing the bus on the basically the whole the funding operations that they do, other than the cyber stuff. I mean, because the cyber stuff is real too, but they still do all of this, EBT and debit card trafficking, basically the 50 cent on a dollar thing. And like I said, a lot of those trends are older trends. I mean, it's like what happened in Buffalo on the Peace Bridge. There's a sleeper cell there going back to the 70s that I know about because my mom used to sell her food stamps. Back when we were on welfare back in the 70s. So those are the kind of things that most people don't talk about. And when you start talking about corruption in politics, and I'm being objective here because it's on both sides of the fence, that's part of the stuff that they actually cover up. There's connections there too with you can see where it reaches out and touches other people. Because it's pretty much a whole package deal. And it comes down to, maintaining proper discretion without overt denial or obstructing justice, which can be done, seriously. I mean, you stick with your oaths and do things right. But like I said, that's one of the places where I seriously beg to differ and with her, because like I said, that's all intel that I helped gather. And, the connection with Robert Hansen was in regards to him laundering his GRE money and, counting on strippers to not claim it as income. And then with Hansen knowing where all the stores were, where they could go to sell their food stamps, which basically helped fund terrorism because like Al-Qaeda and Hamas and Hezbollah. And, there's other criminal interests too, but, we're talking a big-time conspiracy here with terrorism being, the threat of terrorism being the bad guy. It's basically to force people's hand to cover it up, because it's not just radicalized Marxist terrorists that are doing this, with the parity being with omerta, secular and non-secular and all that stuff, which I've talked about in other videos, mostly on my other page. But I just wanted to bring that up, before I get into book 4, because, so like I said, we seem to be falling back on all kinds of the wrong stuff again, and I'm really concerned about it. And it's like, when you're a significant person, unfriendly intel is going to hold you to what you say, when you, discuss stuff like that publicly. And like I said, there's a difference between discretion and overt denial. And, it comes down to the whole conspiracy in regards to covering up all the food stamp and EBT card trafficking, which can and does support terrorism. And like I said, that's with the cyber threats, the hacking and stuff like that, they're built on all of these old things, because that's generally the way that stuff works with unfriendly intel, not supporting, basically not supporting failure. But like I said, back to the poem though. Here's book 4, line 901. Fell Burgundy Iris, or Moses Cleveland's Canterbury Tales, Book 4. What gifter of dreams and knowledge to glean, what plenty to harvest tonight. Appearance and vision, a torso apparition, who hovered o'er smoky campsite. What motive had she who hove like a queen, who bore regal despite having no feet? Suspended in ether, dark tendrils of nether, skirt tattered with billowing pleats. Burst from a gate was xiphoid in shape, pentagonal like a diamond in effigy. Dark light abound, she smiled and then frowned, consumed nearly by empathic lethargy. Waves of dry weariness, fatigue upon dreariness, an ache to the bone from within, but brief exposure to loss of composure, what pain rendered stone ages been. Momentary fright for a brief flash of light as she reconjured her cheery demeanor, that radiance within but pure pain had been, which generated what subtle a dreamer. What noise of the mind, a sizzle and whine, a buzz hum as the blue ghost appeared. Like a crystalline matrix where opposition grates, a friction like love-hate endeared. The sensation numbing like dull sensual pounding, a rigidness in the front of the mind. What darkened measure of insurmountable pleasure, sense lost of direction and time. What story tonight to speed on the night for an audience immobile like rock? Fast in the field, what will did they yield? Their minds entrapped, seized up tight like a lock. Sorry. Pages are stuck together again. The stories unfold and whispers are told, inescapable central caress. But to ignore the bringer of yore, no chance and with no room to guess. Within mountain wold Ramadoa, I'm told, had regents renowned and redundant. But one ancient queen, fair Lindia, had been, last of such lineage abundant. Of sweetness and virtue, no will for to hurt, reedy and fair like an iris. When tread upon frowned, not long to be down, arose fast on the quick, but spry blitheness. A wing from the ashes when notions were dashed, with the hope of a richness so thick. A light with an ire twould span stoutest mire, what feast prepared long and or quick. What plots for to smash, what fiends for to dash, abominations, what minds were to hatch. But woes for the day to be held at bay, with the wit few of deviousness could match. Her men were quite tall, in virtue not small, compassionate fierceness the standard. Fight hard and love harder, and thought be much smarter than thine enemy and all of their kindred. The queen was pursued by various suitors, all of a worthiness and stature, who dazzled with niceties and pandered refinery for conquest, then she would not matter. I'll stop right there. Yeah, one thing you got to remember about this is most of this I had written before Valerie's name got leaked back in 2003. So, there's places where that I worked on it afterwards because I did a lot of writing, mostly parts of book 4 and parts of book 5, just, embellishing, like filling in, areas in between, like key moments. But like I said, I did a lot of that when I was walking to Kentucky back in 2006. And like I said, that had a lot to do with having intel on the threat against the former Queen of England and the whole assassination conspiracy going all way back to 86 and earlier, with all the crazy stuff that went down in 69 and 70, being part of that conspiracy, basically threats against another country, NATO ally and longtime friend of this nation. So, there's a lot going on with that. So, like I said, I'll pick it up with line 917. Thank you for listening.